16-year-old dead. 1 year later, 17-year-old Jerome Morgan would be convicted of the murder and sentenced to life at Angola.
My name is Jerome Morgan. I'm now 42 years old. I was wrongfully arrested and eventually convicted and sentenced at the age of 17 for a murder that I did not commit. I was sentenced to die in prison by the expiration of my life. It was a Sweet 16 party for a young girl by the name of Marissa Young. I attended the same high school during my 9th grade year in high school, my freshman year. She actually gave the invitation to Jeffrey Jackson, one of my best friends, and in turn he invited, us. The majority of my time confined in prison was at Angola State Penitentiary, Louisiana State Penitentiary. Known locally here as Angola Penitentiary, which is named after an African country where the Americas got majority of their slaves. And so this history is, very much continued through, this prison. This plantation actually being made into a prison, which is the largest in the country at 18,000 acres in land mass. There are over 5,000 people imprisoned there, and I would say close to 90% are people of color. What's up, man? What's up, bro?
Like around the corner on Mitchell Street, and that's the street that Jerome grew up on, that he used to live on, that day, that time. We went to the party like it was a normal time, a normal day of us going out. Just going to either a house party or a dance or whatever, and it just turned tragic.
At this location, 1993, May 22nd, 1993. Yeah, this is the room right here. We believe this is to be the back wall where the DJ table was set up. But we were standing like right over here, this way, on this side where the shooting occurred. 144 I just seen, like the room light up and the sound pop, then the light and then pop and, the room lighting up. Sort of like lightning strike. And once the gunfire stopped and everybody felt safe to look to see what happened, that's what you saw. We seen that, they covered the body with the white sheet, and we, from that, we know that's somebody was murdered.
And then, I guess maybe a few weeks later, we learned that they were looking for Jerome for the murder. And we like, well, how is that? Because he was with us. You know what I mean? So how could they be looking for him for the murder? It's like, no.
How could he be the person that committed the crime and he's in here after the crime is committed? I mean, it makes no sense.
The state or the police first became aware of Jerome Morgan because of rumors that were circulating about who was the gunman. And then as a result of that, the police took a photograph of Jerome from his high school yearbook and created a photo lineup and showed it to the key witness in the case.
The police in turn asked him, do you know Jerome Morgan? And he said, yeah, I know Jerome Morgan. We need you to come down and pick out a picture of Jerome Morgan. Notice I didn't say the detective said we need you to come down here and pick out the shooter. He said we need you to come down here and pick out Jerome Morgan.
I mean, it's a shooting in a 16-year-old's Sweet 16 birthday party. So I think the police just felt a lot of pressure to close the case. I don't know if we can say solve the case, but close the case.
I immediately felt the push for my innocence.
I get a bunch of letters from Jerome, and he called me, and And then we were blessed enough to be introduced to the people, the lawyers from the Innocence Project.
Innocence Project New Orleans was aware of Jerome Morgan's case even before I started working here in 2006. We always had questions about his guilt because of the facts that were established even just at trial.
It was a long time before things started to turn out for good. Very, very long time.
We had two goals. One was to undermine the state's case that they had at trial that was supporting his conviction, and the other was to provide evidence that affirmatively proved his innocence. And we did that by calling Hakeem Shabazz to testify and Kevin Johnson to testify. And they testified about what really happened when they made the identifications with the police and what happened and why they testified the way they did at trial.
And we met that number, and I was free February 4th at 6 p.m. I couldn't believe it, but it was real.
Emotional that you almost can't express your emotions. You're just so happy.
I was there. Man, it was so beautiful, man. I was so happy. It was like, I had been carrying these ton of bricks on my back all these years, and I can't imagine what he'd been carrying. I'm just saying from my aspect. And when he walked out, I was like, man, thank you, it's over with, thank God. You know what I'm saying? It felt like I was released.
And I wanted him to have that chance. He just push open that door and walk outside.
The one thing that kept it real, and, I knew Jerome was Jerome. He still was the same person after he came out of Angola. Exactly.
Morgan was released from jail in 2014, his conviction overturned. Today, he's a mentor, an advocate, author. He even opened up a barbershop.